If you've never struggled with anxiety, this video isn't for you. But if you have, this Metallica song can help you.
Then the unnamed feeling, it comes alive, yeah.
James Hetfield wrote the Unnamed Feeling when he was at the edge, trapped between success and emptiness. In some kind of monster, you see it clearly. Fame couldn't fix what was broken inside. He was battling anxiety, fear, guilty, emotions that had no name but were very real. And maybe that's why the song connects so deeply, because every one of us has faced those unnamed feelings too. Today I want to share how those same four feelings, anxiety, fear, guilt and purpose, can be found on this great song, Unnamed Feeling. So as usually, let's go.
Start writing all this down. Just let me plug you into my world. Can't you help me be uncrazy? Name this for me, keep the cold air, take the chill off of my life. And if I could, I'd turn my eyes to look inside to see what's coming.
In some kind of monster, James talks about fear. Fear of losing control, fear of what's next, fear of himself. That's the core of anxiety. The feeling of speeding down a road, but the steering wheel isn't in your hands. Anxiety is that constant question, what's going to happen next? The mind races, the heart follows, and everything inside you feels one step away from desperation. It's the fear of the unknown, of the future you can't control. But that's the exactly point. Overcome anxiety with today, trust and time. You can't control tomorrow, but you can't control today. You don't know the future, but you can trust the one who already knows tomorrow. After that, you simply need to give time its place, because only through time will the future unfold. So it's not about knowing every answer, it's about knowing the one who holds tomorrow. Doing what you must today and allowing time to reveal what's ahead.
It comes alive, it comes alive, it comes alive. I die a little more. It comes alive, it comes alive, it comes alive. Each moment here I die a little more. Ooh, I die a little more. In the unnamed feeling, it comes alive. Then the unnamed feeling takes me away. I'm frantic in your soothing arms. I cannot sleep in this down-filled world. Found safety in this loneliness, but I cannot stand it anymore.
In some kind of monster, you can almost feel the pressure James carries. Expectations from fans, the band, the world. That's the tension between authenticity and approval. It was a storm in Metallica's life. Fear of people is like a storm inside of us. Sometimes the biggest storm isn't outside, it is inside. Not thunder, not lightning, but the voices of people. What they think, what they expect, what they will say if you fail. That fear can shake you harder than any wave. You try to keep calm, but deep down you are drowning. Not in water, but in opinions. I felt that storm many times at work, with my friends, even in family. Trying to please everyone, trying not to disappoint anyone. But the more you try to please people, the heavier the storm becomes. In the Gospel of Mark, when the disciples start to scream in the boat, Jesus stood up and said, "Peace, be still." And the wind obeyed him. And this is the one who needs to be feared. The same Jesus who calmed the storm outside on the sea can calm the storm inside of you in your heart.
Cross my heart home not to die. Swallow evil, ride the sky. Lose myself in a
When James went to rehab, you could see the challenge and the guilty that each member of the band carried. Even Jason's departure left an invisible weight in the room. They were all confronting their own mistakes, regrets, and even pride. And when we try to understand this unnamed feeling, we have to start the same way, by being sincere with ourselves. So stop pretending everything is fine and ask honestly, could this sadness, this unnamed feeling, be guilty?
The unnamed feeling, it comes alive. Then the unnamed feeling treats me this way, and I wait for this train toes over the line. Then the unnamed feeling, it takes me away.
Because guilty is a reality in all of our lives. Don't fall into the narrative that it's always someone else's fault. Sometimes it's our words, sometimes it's our actions, and other times it's what we refuse to do. Whether through mission or rebellion, we've all hurt someone along the way. That's what makes guilty so dangerous. It can transform into shame, depression, and even despair. It's the unnamed feeling that crushes the heart. But recognizing guilty is not weakness. It's the first step to forgiveness. And Jesus told a story that shows exactly how to face it. Two men went up to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee, a religious guy, confident, proud, comparing himself to others, a religious guy. He said, God, I thank you that I'm not like those people, sinners, thieves, adulterers. The other was a tax collector, a man despised by everyone, who couldn't even lift his eyes to heaven. He simply beat his chest and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And Jesus said that it was the second man, not the religious one, the second man, the one who admitted his guilt, who went home forgiven, free from that weight of guilt. So instead of pointing fingers, comparing ourselves, or using the guilt of others as an excuse for our own, we need to face our hearts honestly. Admit that we've always spoken words we regret. We made choices that hurt, or stayed silent when we should have acted. The right way to deal with guilt isn't to hide it, blame others, or drown into distraction. It's to bring it before God and ask for mercy. Because untreated guilt can grow into depression, self-pity, anger, and even other emotional problems. But when you humble yourself like that man in the temple, God meets you there, and that's where healing begins.
It takes me, then the unnamed feeling, it comes alive, yeah. Then the unnamed feeling takes me away, yeah, it takes me away.
James once said he used alcohol to feel an emptiness he couldn't describe. For me, it was a different thing. It was going to parties every weekend. When I was younger, I used to use Friday and Saturday to just find pleasure. But after the music stopped, there was always a void, something missing. And I didn't want to live like that forever. So I start searching for something real, start searching for God and the purpose that He had in my life, not only for pleasure. That search took me far beyond what I imagined, to a fisherman's village, to the indigenous in the Amazon, to a prison in Paraguay, to Swaziland, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Mozambique, where by God's grace and provision, I was fulfilling the purpose in my life. It wasn't comfort, but it was full of meaning. By God's grace, He took me out of the parties into a life of challenge, but also of purpose. Because the motivation of purpose is much stronger than the search of pleasure.
It takes me in the unnamed feeling.
James gave the emotion a name, the unnamed feeling, but now we know it. It's the cry of a soul. And when you recognize that feeling and bring it to Jesus, you can be free from that unnamed feeling. So if this video made you think, hit like, share a comment and subscribe. And thank you for watching.